How are you? Could you please tell us about first tell us your name and then what do you come here for to this clinic for?
My name is Jan Burdick, and I've been coming recently for the Bimini, the fancy bath that Dr. Dickens has up in the other room.
Okay. And what's the reason, if I may ask?
Muscle pain, stress.
Dr. Dickens, can you tell us a little bit about the Bimini bath?
Oh, we ought to have Eddie. Where is Eddie when you need him? Yeah, Eddie introduced me to a man 7 years ago, and the man had a piece of equipment, a bath, that when you turned it on, the water went milky. And I thought, oh, this is cool. I've got to get one of these. And I talked to the man, and this is the truth. He told me that he wasn't going to sell me one because if I got people better, he wouldn't get the recognition. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but that's the truth of it. And then, so about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, Eddie introduced me to the Applewhites, and they are the owners of Bimini Bath. And I was doing a Zoom meeting with them, and I was told right at the start, they volunteered this. They didn't know my concerns. They said the old technology made the water milky because the bubbles were so big. Said their technology, the bubbles are 0.01 microns. That's how small they can be. So a human hair is 50 microns, roughly. And so down to 0.01 microns is infinitesimally small. So when you turn it on, it does not make the water milky because the bubbles are so small. And the benefit to that is they're much more absorbable because we're talking about transdermal going through the skin and being picked up by it. So we've seen some great things come about it. I had a man in, he could not take a bath. I mean, he bathed. But if he took a bath, his skin would itch and he'd just, so, it's a heck of a thing to go take a bath, shower, or get in water contact and then be very, very itchy. So we did 3 baths for him and he stopped itching. So, I mean, and this, somebody that's in their late 30s, I remember 3 baths to solve a problem. I thought that was pretty impressive. So it's, since I mainly run a cancer clinic, we're doing so many different things. It's hard to say this does this and that does that. It's very difficult because it's everything all at once. And so I think it has great value and great help in cancer, but I cannot, parse out something very specific.
Right. And how long does the patient have to stay in the bath?
Good question. Well, we could fill a tub, 125 gallons in 5 minutes. So we just crank it and let it go. And then it's 25 minutes to charge. In other words, the water has to circulate for a period of time for it to pick up all the oxygen and the hydrogen. And then we'll put them in the bath. I like 20 minutes of minimum, and ultimately 45 minutes is the best time length. That's what we like to go for, is time length. And another thing about Bimini, so the professional sports, I'm sure you've seen people sitting in ice tubs.
The cold plunge, right?
Yeah, can you imagine sitting in you've got big chunks of ice floating around? Oh, that's painful. I've been in water that cold, and I mean, everything's numb. Well, Rice University, which I believe is in Houston, they were doing ice baths, and then what they're doing now is Bimini. So it's a lot easier to get in, say, 94-degree water than ice water. But they're getting better and faster results. But I'm going to have to bounce that off to Rice and let Rice put that forth because that's making a claim. But I think that Rice University would back that up, that it's faster and better than doing an ice bath.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
It's certainly more pleasant. Much more pleasant.
Could you please tell us how does it feel from a patient's perspective, like before your muscles, before you get into the bath, and then after you get out of the bath?
It just sort of feels like your muscles are melting. It's not instantaneously, but I would say within the first 10 minutes, everything is kind of unknotted and unwound, and the pain is gone for me within 10 minutes and
Wow.
stays away for days.
That's really quick. That's amazing. And how did you hear about this? Did you come to the doc like with the symptoms saying that you have? How did that come to be?
I had met Dr. Dickens for other purposes, and we'd been talking once he got this machine. He said, I really want you to try this and see if it will help. And it's just, today was my 3rd session, and it's amazing.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing your experience.